Some of you might be wondering how partial quotients works with a larger number. I'm going to do an example of, let's see, 3,439 divided by, now remember in fourth grade we only do single digit divisors. We're going to go with 7. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to separate these numbers right here. And I'm still going to use the partial quotients. So just as before, I'm going to go ahead and write down my list. So I know 7 times 1 equals 7. Notice how I'm keeping the 7, which is the divisor, always on the same side. It's really important when they go to do this because, look, I put 7, because they have to eventually add the numbers together. So 7 times 3 equals 21. 7 times 4 equals 28. And again, I'm just making a list because those kids who don't know their multiplication facts very well, they, 7 times 4, I just did that. This is 7 times 5. They might be able to do it easier this way because they're just making the multiples of the number. Okay, and then by writing down what it is, then it will be easier for them to use the powers of 10 or 100 in order to get to that large number that they have to get to. This is 56, and finally 7. We only go up to the number 9 equals 63. Okay, so now we always talk about using the powers of 10, and that's really important for fourth grade, is understanding how the powers of 10 can move a value of a number up quite a bit, quite considerably. So for instance, if this was 7 times 10, that would be 70, so it would move that value up to 70. So in this case, what I want to do is, I know 7 times something. Maybe I can get it pretty close to this. So I'm looking at what I have over here, which are my products, and I'm looking at, okay, well, if I do 63, that's too much. If I do 56, too much. So I'm going to go back 34. Okay, so 34 would be in between here. I can't go over, so I'm going to use this number right here. So in my brain, I'm going to think, okay, so 7 times 40 equals 280 because I add 1 0 to it. But if I go 7 times 400, that equals 2,800. So I can actually use this number right here to get fairly close to this number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 7 times 400. Again, making sure I keep the 7 on one side and the other number on the other. And I know that equals 2,800. Okay, so that's part of my answer, but it's not the whole answer yet. Okay, so then I'm just going to subtract. 9 minus 0 is 0, or 9, 3 minus 0 is 3. I need to regroup. 14 minus 8 is 6. So now all I have left to work with is that 639. So once again, I come over here and I say, okay, well, what's kind of close to 63? Well, that one is 63. It's less than 639. Whoa, I could use that. Or, you know what, just to be safe, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to say to myself, 7 times 80 is actually 560. Okay, now you could have used this one because if you know your facts, then you would know that it would be less. But I'm just going to be safe and go with this one. So we're going to, again, put the 7 on the same side. That's our divisor. And we're going to use the number 80 this time. So we already know 7 times 8 is 56. But since it's times the powers of 10, we have to add that 0 at the back. Then we're just going to subtract that out. That's a 9. I need to regroup. 13 minus 6 is 7. Oh, now it's way easier to do this. I know, 7 times, I can only go here. I can't use a double digit number, so I'm going to have to use 9. So let's go 7 times 9, which we know is 63. We're going to subtract it out. That's a 6, that's a 1. Now I've got to do it again. Now I gotta look for something that's less than 16. Here I see 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract that out. I have 2 left. Okay, I now see that my remainder is less than my dividend. So I know for sure that that is my remainder because I'm all done with any of the numbers that are left except for that 2. Now to figure out my answer, I see all these 7s are the same. What I need to do is take all of these and add them together. So in this case, I have 400. Got to be very, very careful about lining up that place value, making sure that I'm adding it in the right place. So 9 plus 2 is 11. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. And I have a 4. So my final quotient is 491 with the remainder of 2. I hope you find this helpful.